Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the next update for my whole collection project pan. In this project I am working on 10 different projects that are completely randomized for my collection, and the only rules I have when it comes to randomization is that I don't want to work on more than 3 products from each product category. So that means like max 3 eyeshadows, 3 blushes, 3 highlighters and so on. And other than that, this is completely random, which is why I think it's so fun, because you get to reach for products that you might not reach for otherwise. But yeah, that is basically the project. I will have a playlist link down below with everyone else who is doing this project. But without any further rambling, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So I'm going to start with the 3 eyeshadows that are in this project at the moment, because I do have 3 eyeshadows in. The first one that I'm going to talk about comes from my Anastasia Dracky Eyeliner palette, and I'm working on the shade Alliteration. This is what it looked like at the last month, but I actually have not used this at all in this last month. This is what it looks like. Yeah, I just haven't reached for the shade. It's not particularly a shade that I have been wanting to reach for. It's a very cool, kind of cool toned shimmer, and I'm working on quite a few very similar shades. Actually, one of the other shades in this project right now is very similar, so I just haven't been feeling those shades, and I've been very overwhelmed with the amount of kind of cool tone taupey kind of shades that I'm working on. This one is slightly more purple leaning, but it's still very taupe, so I have not reached for this at all. The second one that I have not reached for at all, that is also, like I said, very similar, comes from my Nikki Tutorials and Beauty Bay palette, and that is the shade Underground. This was only last month, but I have not reached for this at all. The pan comes from a different project from before, but again, it's somewhat of a similar color. This is more kind of grey tone, I would say, than the other one, but they are similar kind of colors, and again, I have not reached for this one at all. Then the last eyeshadow is the powder eyeshadow from Colourpop, and it is from the, I think, Element of Surprise palette. Yeah, it is, and it is in the shade Late Night. This one looks like a really beautiful kind of everyday shade, but I did reach for it an additional one time in the past month, and I have decided to declutter this because it is in my singles collection. I just don't enjoy reaching for this eyeshadow. It is stunning in theory. It's almost like a little bit of a duochrome, and it's quite sparkly texture for being a Colourpop shade. However, I think this might be getting old, or it was just always like that, but I just now have found better things. But the formula is very kind of powdery, and it does not have very much pigmentation, so I have decided to declutter this one. So this one will definitely be rolling out. With the other 2, I am a bit torn on what to do, because again, I have not reached for these much at all. You know, this one I rolled in last month, I have not reached for at all. This one has been in now for, I think, 2 months, 3 months maybe even, and I have not reached for it much since then. So I think what I've decided to do is, with the Nikki Tutorials palette, I am going to roll this one out. I'm going to veto it out. I don't really often veto things, but I did not have a refresh in June. A lot of people refresh their project in June and allow some things to roll out, and I did not do that, so I'm going to allow myself a veto and veto this one out. But I do think I'm going to keep in the Dracky Eyeliner palette, because I am determined to use this a bit more, and it's a perfect fall time palette as well, so it will be perfect now for the upcoming months to just have in my rotation. And you know, I already have a bit of a dip in Alliteration, and I don't know if I will be able to hit pan within the 15 uses, but if not, I will be able to get a pretty decent dip. So I'm going to keep this one in. I'm going to veto out the Nikki Tutorials palette, and the single eyeshadow is being decluttered. So that is the 3 eyeshadows in this project. And just to let you know, with the Dracky eyeshadow, I have used this one 6 times so far over 3 months, so I do have 9 more uses to go on that eyeshadow. So moving on, we're going to talk about the blushes that are in this project. We're going to start with this one here, which is my Becky blush in Camellia. This one has been in for 6 months. It's been in for quite a while, and my goal with this was to use it 20 times. You know, 20 times isn't too much, but I have been working on so many blushes, and I've been saying that so many times that I've been very overwhelmed. I did finish a blush that I was panning in my rolling project pan, so that's completely finished, and I've been working on a few more blushes in the past month, and I was actually able to get some decent progress on them as well. So this blush I had used 8 times previously, so again, not very well, but this is what it looks like then. So I had 12 more uses to go, and I'm happy to say that I did use it 12 more times, and this one will be rolling out. don't think you will see any progress of this at all. This is a very pigmented blush, and maybe you can see like some brush marks on it, especially like on this side. But yeah, it still looks very unused, and I'm happy that I play around with it. It's definitely not my favorite blush in my collection, but I did grow to like it more than I did when I first rolled it in. But yeah, this one will be rolling out, so it's another thing that we will be replacing. The second blush that's in this project at the moment comes from my Hourglass Ghost Edit Ambient Lighting Palette. Don't know if I said that in the right wording. It's the Ambient Lightning Edit Ghost Palette. That's how you say it. So the shade that I'm working on is Iridescent Rose. And again, I have a 20 use goal on this blush. Before I had only used it once, and this is what it looked like then. And in the past month, I have used this 7 additional times for a total of 8 uses. And this is what it looks like now. So I now have a total of 8 uses on this blush, so it will be staying in, and I have 12 more uses to go. I'm hoping to maybe be able to roll this out next month. You know, I should be able hopefully to get 12 more uses on it, and yeah, this probably will be my main focus when it comes to blushes, apart from my Coralisa blush, which is in my rolling product pan, that I also want to finish this year. The last blush that I have is one that I rolled in 2 months ago, and that is one that I rolled in when I still was very overwhelmed with blushes, so I decided to only put a 10 use goal on it, and I already had 7 uses on it at the last update, and this is what it looked like then. That is my California blush from Benefit, and this is what it looks like now. Probably again no real difference, but I have used it 10 times, so this one will be rolling out as well. So that means that 2 out of my 3 blushes will be rolling out of this project, which is very exciting, and I'm excited to have something new roll in. I might roll more blushes in, who knows, but at least I do, you know, I will have some rotation in this project. Next up, we have a highlighter in this project that has now been in for 2 months, and that is my Kaleidos Space Age Solar Sailor highlighter, which is like a yellow toned highlighter. This one, like I said, has been in for 2 months now, and in the first month I reached for this one 11 times, and I'm happy to say that I did reach for this one 9 more times in the past month, and this is what it looks like now. So you can see that it's a little bit of a dip there in the middle, and that's probably because I use quite a small highlighting brush, as well as an inner corner highlighting brush, because I did use this as an inner corner highlight as well a couple of times. I would probably say that I reached, like I split it probably half and half, so half of the times I reached for an inner corner highlight, and the other half of the time I reached for it as a face highlighter. So I'm happy to be able to roll this one out as well and get some use out of this one, because it is a really fun, beautiful highlighter. It's a very kind of yellow toned gold highlighter, and on the inner corner it's beautiful. On the cheek it is still beautiful. It's definitely, you know, a bit more out there, but I still think it goes really well with certain looks, especially when I was a bit more tan. This worked quite well, so yeah, I really enjoyed working with this highlighter. So next up, we have 2 powders in this project, and I rolled both of these in last month for our goal of further uses. And the first one is my Chanel powder. This is the Powder Universe Compact in the shade Translucent 3. This one is a bit of a deeper powder. It looks like this. It works really well for me in summer, so I'm happy that I rolled it in now. And so far in the past month, I have reached for this 26 times, and this is what it looks like now. So I only have 4 more uses to go on this one, which is a bit frustrating because I'm so close to my 30 uses goal. But this one will be rolling over for 1 more month, which I don't mind. I mean, it's nice to have it in my rotation for another month, and I also feel like it will be a give me product to roll out next month, which is always nice to have. So that is my first powder, which is my Chanel powder, and I can definitely see a little bit of a dip in this powder now. I can definitely see there's more use, which is nice. And it's not my, I mean, the formula is really nice, but for the price I don't think this is worth it. My boyfriend got this very kindly for Christmas. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember now. It was 2 years ago, and I really do love this powder, but yeah, it's definitely very expensive for what it is, but I'm very grateful that he picked this up for me, and it's been really nice to get some use out of it. Next up, we have my Pat McGrath powder. This one I believe is in the shade medium. Again, I rolled this in last month for a usage of 30, and this is what it looked like when I first rolled it in. This one looks very different now. This one looks like this, and yeah, this one did break on me. I am gonna insert a photo here of what the compartment that broke off looks like. It broke after 8 uses, and it's been really nice. Like, it's been fun to use, like, continue using afterwards. I was really devastated when it broke because I thought the whole thing shattered, but it was just like the dome. So I've still been using it, and I'm now on 24 uses, so I still have 6 more uses to go, and this one will be staying in as well. But I will use this one up, and once I'm done with it, I will continue using the shattered part. But yeah, I'm very excited about this one, and again, this should be a give me product for next month. And yeah, I do really love this powder. It's been my go-to touch-up powder, and I love using it that way. So that's probably how I'm going to continue using it even when it rolls out. So the final product that I have in this project at the moment is my MAC eyeliner in Teddy. This one has been in for 2 months now, and in the first month I reached for this one 3 times, and in the past month I'm not doing very well again. I've only reached for it twice, so I have a total of 5 uses. You can see that I need to sharpen it very soon. I think I'm going to do that after filming this video. But yeah, I don't have too many uses on it. I have 5 uses so far and I have 15 more to go, so it's definitely one that I have to step up my usage game on. But deep eyeliners like this is just not something that I reach for every day. I mean, I could easily reach for this as like a tight line eyeliner, but I just forget about it. So, you know, I need to get more into the routine of using this, but I'm happy that I did get some uses on it. I'm gonna aim to reach for at least 5 times in the next month so I can get to 10, which is halfway there. But yeah, this one will be staying in the project. So we are gonna roll in 5 new products, and so far anything goes. I don't have 3 out of anything. I have 1 eyeshadow and 1 blush, but those are usually the things that fill up the quickest. So if I roll 2 more of either of those, we are going to be full in those categories. But I'm going to go ahead and claim my history from when I filmed last, and we're going to go ahead and randomize between 1 and 992. I am missing a few items. I haven't completely updated the spreadsheet, but I will do that after this video so it's up to date by next update. But I just have not had the time yet because it takes quite a while to update spreadsheets, especially if you had to add in quite a few products. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the first number, which is going to be 277, which should be an eyeshadow. Okay, that's a very nice one to roll in. This comes from an Eyeshadow known as Gold palette, and it is in shade Sandstone, which I believe is one of the mattes. So yeah, hopefully that would be a nice one to roll in. Hoping it's not too similar to anything in my Panna palette, but we'll see how it goes. That is the first shade. The second one is going to be number 450, which should be another eyeshadow. So we're on the max of eyeshadows after this. Yeah, 450, let's see what that is. Okay, that's very nice. It's actually from a palette I have not reached for one since I got it. It's actually one of my very few untouched palettes now in my collection, and that is the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette, and I rolled in the shade Pillow, so that's going to be very fun to work on. Yeah, it's going to be nice to have that palette in, and I'm hoping that I will be able to hit pan on this one before 15 uses, because usually the Beauty Bay palettes are very easy to hit pan on. So that is the second eyeshadow I'm going to roll in. So I'm going to go ahead and exclude the eyeshadows from my randomization, and we're going to pick 3 new things. So I have changed my numbers between 892 and 992 because those are the numbers we can randomize between. Sorry if you can hear some noises, my puppy walking around. But yeah, I need to get this randomization done so I can start working soon. But yeah, we're gonna pick the next number, which is gonna be, what is it, that 968. Okay, so 968 is a foundation. This is my BB cream from Garnier in medium, which is a very deep shade, so that's gonna be interesting to roll in. But yeah, that's gonna be the next one. Then we're gonna have number 963. And 963 is actually a product that I'm working on in my rolling project pan, which is my Chanel bronzer, so we're gonna have to re-roll, and that is gonna be 900 even. So 900 even is my carbon black eyeliner from L'Oreal, so that's going to be the next item. And then the final item I'm going to roll in is going to be 910. Okay, 910 is actually another product that I'm working on in my rolling project pan. That is my Pillowy base in Rumor 2, so we're going to go ahead and re-roll again. And we're going to get 912, which is a blush, and that's Gina, which is the NARS blush. And I'm working on that in my deco panning, so we're going to have to re-roll again. Let's see what I get. We get 931. Okay, 931 works. That is my Clinique blush in Plum Pop, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that one out, and I will be right back. So I'm back with my product. It's actually been about an hour and a half because I had to stop working, but I'm taking a break now just so I can wrap up the video because my puppy was being a menace this morning, and I did not have time to finish filming the video in the morning before work. So I'm back and I have my 5 new products. We're going to start with eyeshadows, which are from these 2 palettes right here. And I believe the first one I rolled in came from my Natasha Denona Gold palette, and that was the shade Sandstone. Okay, so that is, I guess that's a kind of like a similar shade to my Panda palette, but it's this brown right here. It's still a nice translucent shade. I'm still going to keep it in, although it is quite similar to what I'm panning in my Panda palette. It seems to be a little bit deeper actually, so that is it on my finger right there. And as you know, my goal with my eyeshadows in this project is 15 uses or pan, and with this one it's definitely going to be 15 uses because yeah, these are quite deep pans. and the mask take quite a while to hit pan on as well. So that is the first shadow that I'm rolling in, and that again comes from Natasha Denona Gold palettes. Next up we have my Love Notes palette from Beauty Bay. This is such a beautiful palette, but again I haven't really used this at all. I haven't used it at all. But the shade that we rolled in is Pillow. Okay, so it's this shade right here. It's like this cool toned kind of lavender silver kind of shade. It is a shimmer, which is really nice, because then I mean I should definitely be able to hit pan on it. Oh, it's really metallic. I should definitely be able to hit pan on it before 15 uses. Look at that shine, it's so pretty. This is what I love about the Beauty Bay formula. The shimmers specifically are really metallic, really stunning, and that is the shade on my hand. A really nice everyday shade. These two would actually be beautiful together, even though this one is a bit more warm tone and this one is a bit more cool toned. I still think they would work quite well together. So that is the second item I'm rolling in, and again that is another eyeshadow from a Beauty Bay Love Notes palette, and it is the shade Pillow, which looks like this now. So let's move on to the blush that I'm rolling in. This is my Clinique blush in the shade Plum Pop. This is one of their Chic Pop blushes, and I really love their Chic Pop blushes, especially this shade. It's my favorite one. I think it's my favorite one. And this one is like a cool toned, kind of blue toned pink, as you can see. It's a really stunning shade. I love this for like just flushing the cheeks up. I think what I'm going to do with this one is put in a usage goal of 20, because I have finished some blushes, so I'm not as overwhelmed as I was before, and it's a really nice shade, so I'm going to put in 20 uses on this. It's not going to be too overwhelming, but it's still, I think, a hard enough goal. So 20 uses on the Clinique blush is going to be my goal. Next up we have my BB cream from Garnier, and this one is in the shade Medium. Like I said, I don't have too much left of this, and if we were in summer I might have put in a goal to finish this, but I'm going to try to swatch this out, because even though it's a foundation, it's quite a deep foundation, so I'm going to just swatch it out so you can see what I mean. So, I don't know, you can probably pick it up there. It doesn't look too deep because it's still wet, but if it dries down you're going to see what I mean. It's quite a deep foundation. You can probably see on my hand there that it's deeper than my skin tone. Yeah, you can definitely see this deeper than my skin tone. So this is deeper. It's too deep for me right now. It does work for me when I'm self-tanned or in summer, but it's going to probably be a mixing foundation for me at the moment. So, you know, you can definitely see down there that it's deeper than me. So I think what I'm going to do with this one is put in a usage goal of... Should I do 20 again, just to keep it a bit more interesting? Yeah, I'm going to put 20 uses on this. It might take me a while. I don't know if I will do that in 1 month, but 20 uses on this will be my goal, and that is the Garnier BB cream. Then the final product is my liquid eyeliner from L'Oreal. This is the Carbon Black liquid eyeliner. It is the brush tip one. I don't really use liquid eyeliners very often, and I've had this one for quite a while, so I don't even know if it's that good anymore, or if it's like, you know, if it expired, but it's just a black liquid liner. You can see it down there. I think what I'm going to do with this, because I have a suspicion that this one has gone bad. It doesn't really smell, I mean it smells a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily say it smells bad. But I'm going to put in a usage goal of 10 with this, because again I don't really use liquid liner very often. So I just want to get to know this again and see if it's something that I want to declutter or not. And if I want to keep it, I want to use it 10 times before putting it back into my collection. So that is my Carbon Black eyeliner from L'Oreal. So there you have it. Those are my new selection. I'm really excited, especially with the top 3 products. They're really beautiful eyeshadows and the blush. The foundation is a bit too deep for me, but I will definitely get some use out of it. It's not going to be too difficult. And then the eyeliner I could be without, but I think it's going to be something that I can incorporate, and again I just want to refamiliarize myself with that product. But that, I guess, was it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and otherwise I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.